okay, you just can't be in the road. Okay, I'm at work. I work today and tomorrow for the holiday weekend, which is fine because when I work, I prefer to work 2 days in a row and it just sucks up my whole weekend and then I'm done for the month. Anyway, I thought I would give you a quick tour of where I work as my side gig, you know, for my side gig. And yeah. So this is the wildlife den. There's loads for kids to do, and then also a lot of people like to come in here for bird watching. I need to turn the speaker on, but we have microphones out there so that you can see the birds and also hear them through the microphones. I don't see any really out there now though. All right, the speaker's on, we're ready for business. I haven't even finished turning on all the lights and we're supposed to be open right now. This is the great room. We have like fireside yoga and story times and stuff like that in the winter, and then just like a place for people to hang out, and some people have weddings and events here as well. This is a classroom space. It looks like they are ready to do pond dipping. So I'm not sure if there is a class today or not, but somebody is ready for something, that's for sure. This is just like an atrium sort of area. There is this story about this ship that was shipwrecked, and it has to do with an area right by us. So there's a whole like little museum exhibit all about it. There are loads of creepy dead animals here, including some more in the freezer. You know, ones that we just need some funding to be able to taxidermy, which I think is freaking nasty. All right, so we have this little pollinator garden. Wild strawberries, spiderwort, just loads of stuff back here. That is awesome for, you know, all the pollinators. So I love this job so much, and I don't mind working over the weekend at all because I get to usually work with super cool people. Like the people that want this sort of a gig are super cool. And in addition, I have lots of time just to read or do other things. So let me catch you up with that as well. Oh, we also have this little children's reading nook too. Loads of books, comfy chair, some stuffies. There's like equipment to build a stuffy fire. So cute. Okay, so I'm reading Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I am reading this in preparation for Bath because I think that she wrote it while she was in Bath, or there's some Bath connection. There is a museum there I already have tickets to. It's gonna be super cheesy and amazing. Anyway, Frankenstein is not at all what I thought it would be, and I am really liking it, even though it's slow going for me just because I've been so busy and I've been spending less time reading every single day. But this is basically this guy writing letters to his sister, and he, in those letters, tells the story of this guy who he found while he was on a ship in the Arctic and like rescued from the sea. But then that guy starts telling a story. So it's a story within a story. But that guy starts telling a story of this scientist who created a human being. And then it goes into the monsters story. So I don't know how many levels of story that is. Like a story within a story within a story within a story, I think. But it is just a lot, and I'm really enjoying it. And there's so many like facts about life, like truths, I guess, that are still true as far as like how you feel in nature, and just about like life and the meaning of life or the value of life, like all these things. And I think that's probably what makes a classic is these deep concepts that it covers, these deep themes that can be enjoyed by people throughout all the ages. But anyway, yeah, I'm really liking it, and I am that far. So I don't know if there's a bunch of stuff at the end, but I think I am maybe halfway. Okay, so one of the best parts of my job is that we get to go out on a hike whenever we want. So So that's what I'm doing right now. I'll probably hike for about an hour, and I don't have to clock out or anything. Like, this is just what you're allowed to do during your shift. So one of the things that's interesting about this hike, or novel for me, I guess, is that my diabetes has been horrible lately, absolutely completely out of control, which partially has to do with me having horrible med side effects for 11 days straight, which resulted in me completely going off my meds for a few days to get my system back, and then trying to restart meds and just having them not work, different ones, whatever. It's this huge thing. So I ended up on a new plan, which also includes insulin for the first time ever. I have so many feelings about this because it just feels like I have been improving my health in so many ways. I have lost a massive amount of weight. I am smaller and smaller by the day, gradually, but still. And there's all these opinions that if you just eat right and exercise, that all will be good, and that's not the case for me, because I eat pretty clean the majority of the time. I exercise more than any other patient that my pharmacist has. I live a super active life, and it's not working. So anyway, after having a really scary day the other day when my blood sugar was so high the CGM couldn't read it, which is well over 400, I consented to go on insulin. So I'm just on a teeny tiny dose of long lasting or something like that insulin. Basically it's just once a day, and to do it at the same time every day, etc., etc. But it just creates like this weight and all this extra equipment that I feel like I have to have with me all the time just to make sure that I am staying safe. So normally on a hike like this, I would just grab my phone and go, but I can't do that. I need to make sure that I have stuff in case I go low, because I haven't yet exercised when I've had insulin, and I just know that that's always a possibility, whereas before it was still a possibility, but it was much less likely that I would go low, and obviously going low is super dangerous. So I have a little pouch of snacks. I got the pouch from the UK, and it's super adorable with a little bird on it, but I have to make sure I carry those with me just in case something happens, and then I can treat myself. And then there's also just the carrying the pen around and making sure that I have like however many days worth, that I have like that many alcohol swabs and that many pen cap needle things and all this stuff. It just is a lot, and I know it's really not a big deal, but to me it's a big deal, especially now. It feels like a massive change. And yesterday I just spent just some time like just crying and just feeling sorry for myself about what felt like a really massive change. I'm all good now. I just needed, that little morning period before I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's carry on with this new plan. So, going back to Frankenstein, I just had no idea how much nature writing was in it, and how, seen that would make me feel, that other people have the same mindset as I do about nature and how comforting it is, and all these super deep feelings that it fills you with when you spend time outside. I remained in a recess of the rock, gazing on this wonderful and stupendous scene. The sea, or rather, the vast river of ice, wound among its dependent mountains, whose aerial summits hung over its recesses. Their icy and glittering peaks shone in the sunlight over the clouds. My heart, which was before sorrowful, now swelled with something like joy. So throughout the book, I think there's a lot of characters that really connect to nature in the same way I do. And I think it starts with the original storyteller, which is this sailor, basically, who is telling the story of what's going on to his sister. He is on a ship set to sail to the Arctic, and he's just kind of like an explorer trying to discover uncharted territories and talking about how that makes him feel. I have been underlining loads when I am reading the book, and I know that a lot of what I underline are nature quotes and people expressing their feelings towards nature, but I don't have the book with me, obviously, because I'm on a hike, so I don't remember particularly what he said about nature, but I know he kind of spoke about this aliveness and sense of awe that you experience when you're discovering something new for the first time. He doesn't really acknowledge the fact that other people have discovered it before you, but even that individual sense of awe and discovery is simply amazing. I shall satiate my ardent curiosity with the sight of a part of the world never before visited, and may tread a land never before imprinted by the foot of man. At one point in the story, we get to a section that is being told by the monster itself, Dr. Frankenstein's monster, and it's describing him just discovering the world for the first time, and everything is new to him, as if he is a newborn child, and yet he is a man. But just the way he encounters language and connection between human beings, and also nature, and what he feels when he's in nature, just speaks to me so much. I think it's so interesting to watch someone encounter life for the first time and to hear their reflections on it. My spirits were elevated by the enchanting appearance of nature. The past was blotted from my memory, the present was tranquil, and the future gilded by bright rays of hope and anticipations of joy. It's okay. You're okay. On my second walk of the day, I finished Frankenstein, and I have to admit that I feel rather sorry for the monster, and I didn't think that I would, and I didn't think that was something that I would feel at all, and I totally do. Yeah, I just thought that it was rather sad that, like, he didn't ask to be created, much like none of us asked to be created, and he was just hated by the world and was not able to really give or receive love in any way. And yeah, I found it so sad, and yet I feel like a lot of people could connect to the feelings of the monster, and that made it even more sad. So I'm really interested in just thinking about it a bit more, and also listening to other creators talk about it. I have a number of like academic lectures that I want to listen to about it, and then there's some well-known YouTubers who have also talked about it, and I just want to hear their thoughts to kind of like dig a bit deeper into the text. Anyway, I have about an hour and 7 minutes left of work, so I'm just trying to warm up in the sunshine and take a little walk before I go back in for the rest of my shift. I usually go on 1 hour long hike, and then this is just like an added bonus because we're so slow. Just, I don't know, maybe half hour or so, just trying to get outside and do something and be in the sun and all that sort of stuff. So this is a vernal pool that I'm standing by, which basically means that it's like a pond part of the year and dried up part of the year. Whenever it's dried up, I'm like, oh, I forgot what it looked like when it was a pond. And then when it's a pond, I like can't imagine it ever being dried up. And right now it's kind of in between. So this is one part, and it's usually all filled with water, at least like to the tree line, slightly beyond that sometimes. That is usually all water. And then this is usually all water too. It's starting to dry up. And then it's usually quite deep as well. Hello everyone. Okay, I just got out of work and I got something in the mail that I want to show you. I was tricked into buying this by Ollie from Criminali, and it is a Kobo. Now, I do already have a Kindle, but I want to break ties with Amazon, and I figured this would be a good way to branch out into a different company. I also like the idea of a completely fresh start on a device, although I am aware I could just like clear my Kindle. But I basically want to have this for traveling because I am leaving in a hot second for the UK and Montenegro, and the portion of our trip that covers Montenegro has basically no room for luggage. So I'm not bringing a single book, not one. And I felt that this would be a good way to pack lightly while still having access to books, and hopefully allowing more room in my suitcase to purchase a book or two. I wanted to do an unboxing, so let's do that. Whoop. First of all, this is a really cute box, by the way. Oh! The cute box continues. Whoop. There it is. I like also that it has physical buttons on the side to turn the page. I think that will be very, very nice. We will see though. So at this point, I do not have a case for it. I ordered one and it should come in the mail, I think on Tuesday. Monday is a holiday. I just got like a sleeve for it. So that is what it looks like. Ooh, I like the back of it. The back of it is rather textured. So it's not really grippy, but it's also like not super slippery and smooth. Nice, nice, nice. Editing care in here. You want to know something really nice that I just discovered? So they price match. So let's say that you find an ebook or audio copy of something that you would like, and you purchase it from them, but then you realize later, oh, it's on sale for like way cheaper at another establishment, like maybe the one that we're trying not to use. You can submit a price match and they will match the price plus give you an extra 10% off. So I just did that. I purchased a Bible for my Kindle because I thought, I purchased a Bible for my Kobo because I thought like that's like something that I want to have on there like all the time. And it was super expensive. It was like $25. Well, it's like $16 on Amazon. So not only are they going to match the price, but then they'll give me 10% off in addition. Like, this is fabulous. I love Kobo so much now. So much more than I already did. All right, I think that's it. So I'm going to turn this on and get this thing going. Another day working for Ottawa County Parks. All right, so our Sunday shifts are much shorter. We have to come in like we come in around 11:30, but we open at noon and then we close at 5. So it's just much shorter. And yeah, I've been really busy just figuring out the details of my backpacking trip this summer with my friend Colleen. We're going to Porcupine Mountains, which I've never been to before and seem super tough. And then playing around on my Kobo, which I got for my trip to the UK, just to save space on books so that the only books that I end up having with me are ones that I purchased on the trip. So far I'm loving my Kobo, mainly because it's just like a break from Amazon and just like something different other than a Kindle, and it's in color, and I love like the different colors and the different highlighting options and all sorts of stuff. Some things I'm still trying to figure out are how to borrow books from my library on it. And I think I figured that out, but it appears that I can only get them from the app on my Kobo, which means, oh, it's so beautiful. Which means I have far fewer options just because I have so many libraries loaded onto my phone that I can borrow from outside of my own library. However, I think there is a way to manually move the books onto my Kobo. The only problem is I can't get it connected to my MacBook. So, if anyone has any ways to figure out these glitches, that would be cool. But also, I'm also fine just using my Kindle for like the library books that are from other libraries, or NetValley, which is the other thing I'm struggling a bit with. I think it's all possible. I just think it's slightly more challenging, which is fine because the distance from Amazon is worth a few extra steps, I think. So, in June I'll be in the UK or Montenegro. In July I'll be home, and in August I'll be in the UP backpacking with a friend, which, as you can tell, I'm out of breath. So I need to work out at the gym every single morning, Monday through Friday, before work for the rest of the school year. That's the plan. And when I say that, just know there isn't very much time left in the school year, so it'll be like a brief burst of activity. Then after that, I will just be active on vacation. I'm not really going to work out or anything, just because I think that each day will naturally have loads of working out in it, or like activity. I'll be walking more than I'm used to. I think when I'm on vacation, I walk like 11 miles a day or so, just kind of depending. And then in Montenegro, I know we're going to like maybe climb a mountain or something. There's like these city walls. It's not really a mountain. There's like this one spot that has like city walls that you can climb, and you can go up to this one part, or you can even go farther, and I hear it's quite the workout. And then I'll be with Sarah, which will be a little respite. Partially because when I hang out with her, even though I've only hung out with her once in real life, it just feels like you don't feel like you have to be any kind of way anymore. Your whole body just relaxes and you just feel at home. So there's that, but also she has a car, so we'll be driving loads of places. Like last time we went to some like National Trust property or whatever and walked a lot, but it wasn't like that much walking because that was the only walking we did during the day. It wasn't like we were walking to a location or anything. And then once I get back in July, it's gonna be like serious go time with making sure my body is ready for backpacking. And I think that all of this will kind of be like a gradual build up and increase in endurance as I'm doing all these things. But in July, it's like, okay, I have 1 month, let's go. I'm gonna try and use the stair climber thing at the gym, and then just go on loads and loads of walks out here, hikes, whatever, and make sure that I'm increasing my mileage, and also maybe going with a pack. I don't really know. I didn't do that last year and it was fine. I just feel like this year is going to be more strenuous, but we'll see. These are the shoes that I got for backpacking this year. my other backpacking shoes that I've used for 2 years, and they were in the worn wear section or the garage sale section at REI, and they have been amazing, continue to be amazing. But one of the things that I have to do coming up is I have to pack for the UK completely while I'm also packing for another trip that's going to happen before that. So we have 6th grade camp Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right before I leave. And I won't have time to pack after 6th grade camp. So I basically need a separate set of stuff for the UK, and then a completely separate set of stuff for 6th grade camp. So I need loads of outdoor gear and stuff for 6th grade camp, and like separate makeup, separate shoes, sleeping bag, all that stuff. And then yeah, everything ready to go for the UK, so that when I return I can get my MRI, and then the next day, bye, leave for the UK. The MRI is a huge other thing. I don't know how much I want to get into on here because I just don't want people to be worried. But if you notice, I changed my nose ring from like the hoop to this one because it's easy to take out and put back in for an MRI. And I put my hoop thing back in because I thought I was done with MRIs until next year, and I'm not. So I wasn't going to talk about it. But then I feel like I also don't want to be one of those people that hints at stuff and then makes people worried and then doesn't actually legit talk about it. So hang on, I'm trying to distance myself from the person in front of me, and then I will tell you what's going on. So myself, thanks to Dr. Google and the doctor, legitimately think that I have a brain tumor. But don't get scared, because it's like not a big deal. Brain tumor, it's not cancerous, or it's not supposed to be, and it's something you either quick have surgery for through your nose like you're an Egyptian mummy, or you just take pills for a while and hope that it shrinks. So that's what the MRI is for, and it's really not a big deal. It sounds like a big deal. It's really not. I'm hoping to find out if I have it or not before my trip. I'm getting the MRI around 24 hours before my trip, so there's a chance I won't know the results, and my plane will land and maybe there will be something in my chart. I'm not really sure, but I promise it's not a big deal. It's just like, I just feel like I have so many things going on health-wise, and it's really frustrating because I feel like I'm doing all the right things and then the whole show is just crashing down, like spiraling out of control, crashing down, whatever. But anyway, I'll keep you posted, but just like don't worry about me because it's really not really a big deal. Like, I think it's really the sort of thing where if you had brain surgery, you would have it and be back to work the next day, which is really lame. But also, obviously, I guess you want something that's easy. So, yeah. But, like, my doctor mentioned it to me as a possibility. But the more labs I get and the more we have talked, the more labs I get and the more we talk, the more she's, like, talking about it like it's an actual thing versus a possibility. She said that, it's her exact words, like, I definitely think it's possible that we will need to start medication or do a surgical consult. Pretty sure her wording was something like that. I'll put it below if it's like slightly different, but yeah, so I have a lot going on, but I'm going to the UK in Montenegro and it's going to be amazing. Okay, so let's talk about books. The first book that I'm reading on my Kobo is like a retelling of Frankenstein, and it's called Our Hideous Progeny, and I bought a physical copy of it not knowing what it was. Other than that, some people like raved about it, and so then I decided, because it was super cheap, to buy a copy for my Kobo so I can read it on there. And So far, I'm only on chapter 2. The main character's name is Mary Frankenstein, and she seems a lot like Mary Shelley at this point, the author of Frankenstein, because she lost her mom when she was a baby. Like, her birth was the cause of her mom's death, and she calls herself an infant murderer in the book. And then in addition, she kind of has like a cold and distant childhood that is quite similar to what Mary Shelley had. Mary Shelley apparently was just kind of like educated and given book after book after book without any emotional connection. So the book opens with our main character being questioned about the murder or death, I'm not really sure, of this guy. And it's just a very ominous beginning, not only because of that, but because she's carefully navigating how quickly or slowly to speak, because when you lie, you speak at a certain pace, and she wants to make sure that she does not look like she is a liar. What's cool is it's unclear if she's actually lying or just trying to tell the truth and doesn't want her story, which may be bizarre, to come across as lying. It's just very ambiguous and unsettling, and I like it so far. But that's as far as I am, so there's not too much else to say about it yet. So my blood sugar is still fine right now, but it's a double arrow down, which means it's falling and falling fast, which I suppose is good that my body is actually responding to exercise when before it did not at all. But I do have to be careful right now just because of the double down arrow. Look at all this lush green. Hey guys, it's Monday. It's supposed to be like a day to hang outside, and it's the unofficial start of summer. But it's kind of cloudy and gloomy, which is cool. It's cool. I really have to stay at home most of today. I'm gonna go out and about, but I have a little weird thing that I have to do. I'll show you in a second. Consider this health update number 3. I have to pee into this all day. So I can only leave my apartment until I have to pee, and then I have to go home because I'm not bringing this with me. I don't have a cooler and ice, and I'm just not doing that. So I'm gonna go right before yoga, and then I guess come home afterwards or go on a hike. But if I have to pee, I have to come home. Awkward. So I guess it's a good day to read and to clean the closet that I've been avoiding. Okay, so as I said, it's a holiday, and so my yoga studio is closed, which is a bummer because I have a yearly, like, unlimited pass, so I can't go there. But I'm 100% still going to yoga because there's another yoga studio in Grand Haven. I've never actually been to that yoga studio, but that is where I go for Reiki. And so I'm going to attend my first class there today because they have a $5 community class, and it's with my Reiki teacher. So or my Reiki practitioner. I don't really know what you say for somebody that does Reiki. But I'm really excited because I've taken like 1 or 2 yoga classes with her before, but she is like the ultimate, and I am excited that there's class offered today and that it's only $5 because I cannot be paying for yoga other places unless I'm traveling because I have an unlimited yoga pass for a year, so I feel like I would be wasting my money. Okay, so I just got done with yoga and I didn't film on the inside because it was so busy since it was a $5 community class, and also like I just try and be super respectful. But it's funny because my yoga studio was closed, so there was like at least two different people who work at that yoga studio who were attending a class at the place that I went to today. And everyone loves Jane. She is the absolute best teacher ever. So I don't know how to describe the vibe that Jane gives off, but it is so calming and so joyful at the same time, like this perfect mix of energy and calmness and just this like giant ball of light. That is who she is. And so I'm so grateful I was able to take a yoga class with her today, because it's essentially like Reiki for $5. And also I just love her. She gives the best hugs as well. Like nobody gives better hugs than Jane. This is what Rosie Mound is known for. These stairs. I don't know how many of them there are, but I know that that's why I'm here today, because I need some extra stairs in my life. That's where I just came from. So I think it's really funny that this map like details the number of steps. I'll show you. Okay, so I started here by the parking lot and then just go, go, go. Okay, lovely. And then 45 steps, 69 steps with 7 landings. Keep going, 18 steps with 1 landing, 7 steps, 4 steps, 2 steps, 47 steps, 10 steps, 114 steps with 2 landings, and 97 steps with 6 landings. And I'm pretty sure that I have done all the steps except to go back to my car. But there might, oh yeah, right here. If you want to go to the legit beach, then you have 40 steps with 2 landings. But I think I'll probably just go on the trails that are by the beach, because it is windy and freezing cold today. Like even like a fleece is probably not enough. I could probably use like mittens or a hat. It's really cold. Official start of summer. Oh, and I have to tell you, hang on, there's somebody I'll tell you later. Okay, so tomorrow I have to drop off my you-know-what to the lab. And then I have a very short day of work because tomorrow is a sleep-in day, so we don't start work until 9:05. Then I'm meeting with one of my work friends to discuss possible options about a career shift, probably in the long-term future, not anytime soon, because I would like to spend all my money on traveling. Okay, then I will teach for a little bit. Then I'm leaving at lunch because I have therapy tomorrow, which is like my favorite event every 2 weeks. I'm gonna bump it up to every week, starting once I get back from my trip to the UK and Montenegro, and then hopefully next school year I will bump it to every week as well, but also switch it to a time where I don't have to leave work early, because even though I adore leaving work early, I'm gonna run out of sick time. Other errands for tomorrow include returns at REI, because I may have purchased 3 backpacks for my personal item, and then decided which one I wanted and have to return the rest. Also, possibly a pedicure for my trip because I can't have plain toes. That would be weird. And finally, and best of all, summer reading starts tomorrow. So actually, in my opinion, it starts this weekend. But Grand Rapids Public Library is a library that I adore, and it's about 45 minutes from my house. It's in the town that I'm always in. I'm constantly taking you guys to Grand Rapids. But they have an amazing summer reading program because, one, anybody can participate. Doesn't matter how old you are, doesn't matter where you live, you can participate. Two, it's an actual print booklet so that I can scribble in it and write titles and not have to log things on my phone, which I absolutely hate doing during the summer. And third of all, there are gift cards. Like, you just have to participate and you get a gift card to like a bookstore. Last year I turned it in too late, and so all the books in order gift cards are gone, but that's my favorite bookstore in Grand Rapids. I think I got Schuler's instead, which is also awesome. It's just really cool how much gets donated or bought, I'm not really sure, to support this program. And it's just an absolutely amazing program, summer reading program. It's epic. So yeah, I'm excited. I think this needs to be one of my reading places over the summer because it is like pretty much as far as you can get from like where everyone is. Like, it's really secluded, just view of the dune, which I don't know if you can see through the trees. And it takes you quite a bit of a workout to get here. Let me see. My heart rate right now is 117. I've burned 107 active calories, and I've traveled about a mile, and I have 131 feet elevation gained so far. Obviously, I have to do that in the reverse on the way back. Okay, this is another good option actually for a reading spot this summer. Like, how comfortable would it be to sit right there and just read? Or this is another reading option. It's literally the end of the trail. And that's the view. Up we go then. Okay, guys, I think that I want to like take a bath and get my pajamas on and just like get ready for tomorrow and also kind of relax a little bit tonight. So I'm going to wrap this up, but I do want to show you what I am like slowly reading right now. And I'm only reading one chapter a week and then just kind of working on it, but it's called the Polarities of Experience, The Psychology of the Real, and it's by Richard Rubens. So the first chapter, which I have been focusing on for a while, was just about being fully present with whatever is going on. So, like, one of the things that's uncomfortable for me is when I kill it with physical activity, with eating healthy, with like all these things, and my blood sugar is still crazy. I'm getting like alarms right now on my watch saying how high it is. But just like be present in that feeling, know that you're doing the best that you can, and like don't try and separate yourself from the feelings that you're having in your body. So that was kind of the first kind of intro, and then the rest of the book is just like a discussion of a polarity that we have. And the first one is basically this idea that if you separate yourself from reality, which is kind of what I was just talking about, staying present in the moment, there is a likelihood that you would either view things as too positive or too negative for what the actual situation is. This is your experiences. So for example, my birthday weekend, I could view it as super, super positive, which it was, but there were like a few glitches too. And if I choose to ignore those glitches, then I'm not being authentic and like realistic with what the actual experience was. But then also sometimes people view things as too negative. So for example, I've been peeing in a freaking tub this whole day. It actually was not as bad as I thought it would be, but I could be really down about that and how tied down it made me and how, whatever. And that's not the reality, right? It's a mixture of good and bad. Like, it kind of sucked, but it was not as bad as I thought it would be. This balance between good and bad. And that also is not just for experiences, but for ourselves and others. So we have a tendency to view people, especially people we follow on social media, as like, I don't know, like these perfect people sometimes, not all the time, because I think that most of us on BookTube are quite real. But if you view someone as a perfect person, well, that's not the reality. And also, by viewing them in this idealized version, what's hidden in the background, like covertly, is like what you think bad would be for that person, or what you think a bad person would be like you're comparing somebody to bad in order to say that they're good. And it's just not realistic for who the person actually is. And then the same for yourself. There was one part that made me think of a certain politician, because, hang on, let me just see what it said. It was talking about the way you view yourself, and it said, "It is a well-recognized psychological fact that behind all self-aggrandizement and grandiosity lie insecurity and self-doubt." And it was basically, so that just made me think of somebody. If you know, you know. Everyone knows, obviously. But it was just saying, like, if you're truly self-confident, then you can view your strengths and weaknesses, and just like be okay. Like, you're just an okay person. You're not super good. You're not super bad. You're able to set goals for yourself and learn and grow as a human being, because you realize that you're a mix of good and bad. And yeah, we're not either direction, good or bad. Like, we're exactly where we are on this continuum, and we have to just be present with that and acknowledge that. So anyway, that is kind of the skill I'm going to focus on this week, is just like realizing the good and the bad present in different situations and different people, and just trying to reflect on that as I encounter different situations, and just be more nuanced, I guess. And yeah, so anyway, I hope you guys have an amazing start to your week. I guess for some of you, you've probably already started your week, although I think it was a bank holiday in the UK as well. I don't really know. Anyway, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. This video was so long and I super appreciate it. Bye, guys.